besties are back for another episode of No Ma'am. I'm your host, Willy Will, and this is my co-host,
Jhoany. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
Well, today we are recapping all things episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race season 17. But today we have a special guest with us. It is none other than Ambrosia Zawan, one of New York City's rising drag queens, and who actually is competing on season 6 of Ultimate Diva on March 18th. So make sure you get your tickets now. I'll put a link in the bio below. But welcome to No Ma'am, Ambrosia. Are you ready to throw some shade? And are you ready
You know
No
what?
Ma'am?
I am so ready. Also, come on, Ultimate Diva. Use code Ambrosia when you're checking out with that link. Let's get that straight on this gay ass podcast.
Yes,
Anyway, yes, I am so ready. Thank you so much for having me.
of course. I think it's very fitting to have one of New York City's rising drag queens. Actually, is very on brand. She's literally outdoors at Pieces, right? So if you haven't been to Pieces,
Yes,
make sure
I'm
you check
working
it out.
working the corner of Christopher Street, trying to get some spare change. I'm just a very real, very modest woman, waiting
Modest,
for the coin.
Very
In my
demure. Very
fur?
demure.
Yes, always. We're very mindful here.
Yes, always. There's no cut creases. Like, we don't do that.
No cut creases, just some chapstick and a little mascara. Nothing too crazy, you know?
Love that.
You're
I love
gorgeous.
that.
See, someone's already trying to pick me up. I'm a pretty woman.
Love that. So before we get into the episode, really just tell the girls what made you choose, right, obviously, to get into drag, how long have you been doing it, and what you think it is the most, what are some of the takeaways, especially for a new drag queen who is thinking about doing it but doesn't even know, like, if they should.
I actually love that question. So I have been doing drag now for about 6 months. We're going to be entering month 7 shortly. And what got me into drag was actually RuPaul's Drag Race. Come on now, you know, very generic here. You can tell by this gray eyeshadow. We're very generic here with this nude lip. And it was actually, you know, the CEO of gray eyeshadow and nude lip, Miss Plain Jane, who got me into drag because for the first time ever, I saw someone who had a similar personality and energy to me. And I was like, whoa, hold the phone. I relate to this person. So at first, it was like, all right, let me just, you know, pop out and do Drag Wars and be a little silly and a little goofy, and we'll see what happens. So I was waiting to turn 21. I turned 21, and then I just jumped right in. And then my first night at Drag Wars, I was in the top. I went back the next week, was in the top, and then I started winning. And I was like, I'm kind of good at this. Maybe this should stick around. And it wasn't until recently, actually, that I was like, all right, you know what? This is kind of what I want to be doing. It started off as a hobby. It was cute. It was fun. And then it dawned on me, you know, in a deep slumber, I had a nightmare of being a barista my whole life. And I said, no, ma'am. This is not for me. I need to be a diva. So now here we are hooking on Christopher Street.
Love that. Love that for you. Well, Jhoany is starting his drag journey, and so I think it's really interesting and very fitting that you guys have similar, like, parallels, which I think is really cute.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I want to figure out what I want my drag persona to be before I step out. Like, I want to have, like, kind of a fully realized concept, just because I want to know what I'm doing, and I want to be able to present that to the world authentically. So soon I'll probably be stepping out. I need to get some wigs, get some padding, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
we got to go to Boston and get you some pads so that you can be, like, body down.
Those Boston girls give body.
Body down.
I need to know who does the pads. Yeah.
Body
down.
So since you started drag because of Drag Race, do you ever see yourself being on Drag Race? Like, is that the goal for you?
So at first, whenever people would ask me, I was like, no. I was like, this is just for fun. This is cute. It's not that serious. I feel like everyone thinks they're, you know, Drag Race material. And I think it's important to, you know, have drag delusion. That's what gets us through. But you also need to be realistic, and someone needs to tell you maybe the same for you. So I was trying to be realistic, and I said, I just started. Let me wait. And then a lot of the queens around me that I became friends with were submitting their audition tapes this season. And I was like, all right, maybe next year, maybe next year. So never say never. We'll see what happens when they open up that season 19 audition. And who knows? It might be America's Next Drag Superstar.
Who knows? Yes. Remember, you never take yourself out of the running if you don't run. And so I always tell people, like, you have to run. So, like, you literally just have to just dip your toe into it. That's it. Well, speaking of, like, someone who grew up, like, I guess, on, like, Drag Race, this season really is, like, the MTV generation of drag queens. Because majority of these drag queens grew up watching RuPaul's Drag Race. And majority of them actually did drag because of Drag Race. So, what are we thinking?
Not the sirens being homophobic.
Very on brand for New York City right now.
Someone actually just got hate crime. You know, what's happening in the city.
This is so good.
Girl, they're coming for you.
New York City
It was the
drag.
police. They thought I was actually a prostitute.
Love this. This is quintessential. So, what are you thinking, or what do you think about episode 3 so far? What's overall feelings of the episode?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you some things about episode 3. We're coming right out the gate, rigging it. We're rigging the game on episode 3. I feel like episode 1 for me, you know, the Squirrel Games was real cute. I was like, okay, I have high hopes. This is gonna be a good season. These girls are cute. Episode 2, after seeing both talent shows, I was like, oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe not so cute.
Mm-hmm.
I was, like I said, never say never. I was not going to doubt them. I said, I like a couple of these girls. I know some of these girls. It's going to be good. They're going to turn around.
Right.
And then production had to step in and say, let me just mess the whole thing up. This episode pissed me off. It pissed me off so bad. Can I say pissed? Do y'all curse?
Yes, you can say pissed. Yeah, of course. You can say pissed. Yeah. We say fuck, we say bitch, we say everything.
Well, there was some fucking riggery.
Yes.
There was riggery down.
It was rigor mortis, girl. Rigor mortis.
You know, I think someone who's at the top. Who's Morris? I think someone who was in the top shouldn't have been in the top, but I guess we can discuss that when we get to that.
Exactly. I feel that way too. Hopefully we're talking about the same person though, but...
Probably not.
Okay. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this.
I know.
This turns out. So, okay. So in episode 2, we saw, or at the end of episode 2, we saw that Mona Lisa was saved by the Badunkadunk tank. Now, right.
Girl, those levers were not connected to that dunk tank in any way, shape, or form.
No.
At
all. The name was Hormona Lisa. It should have been Hormona Leave, please. Because it was not it. It was not it. I'm over her already.
I don't mind her.
Hashtag Hormona Leave, please.
Neither did RuPaul. That's why she got invited. You know, cordially invited by RuPaul. And I would like her to cordially leave.
She was handpicked. Remember, handpicked. She was handpicked by RuPaul Charles himself.
And it was a lot to pick up. So, good thing the Badunkadunk tank saved her.
Right. But obviously, Mona Lisa is super excited because she gets to stay. But the girls feel the type of way. In particular, Brie King, who has a lot to say about Mona Lisa still being the 14th queen on season 17. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's season 17. At this point, they should know nobody's going home in the first 3 episodes. Stop pretending like you didn't see this coming. No one goes home the first 3 episodes anymore. Right. You should know she was going to stick around, or that some shit was going to be pulled that would make her stick around.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what Hormona did that rubbed them the wrong way and why they hate her so much. I don't mind her. I don't hate her. I don't get the Mona Lisa hate train.
Same. But remember,
I can tell by Ambrosio's face she doesn't agree.
But remember, in Untuck, Lana did say that Mona Lisa was kind of like a condescending, like, cunt. So,
I mean, we just didn't see that. But yeah, I mean,
it's that Southern charm. She's fooling y'all. No, I actually don't mind her as a person. I think she seems very lovely. She seems very nice. I just think that some people are good drag queens, and then some queens are good at drag race. And so far, what she has presented is not showing that she is a queen who is good at drag race in particular. Similar to, you know, the Silesian diva of LA, but, you know, dive into her as well.
We'll get into the Joella of it all. We'll get into that. There's a lot of Joella that we need to talk about, especially for this episode. But we also get to see that the girls are discussing, obviously, Ray the Queen, right? And so Lana, who is a New York City queen, so obviously, shout out to Lana Jure. She calls out Joella. See, I told you we're going to get to the Joella of it all. Because Joella had a lot to say about everyone's performance. And we get to see a little bit of like the shade that's coming with the queens, though. Because she forgot the Ella and the
I'm not
brush.
a prostitute.
My God. Would I love that for you? But at the same time, I'm like, really? But it doesn't surprise me. Look who just got inaugurated today. So.
Back to Joella.
But
Back to
so
Joella and Jure.
Yes. So Joella had a lot to say about everybody's performance. Remember, Joella forgot the Ella and the brush with that Marie Antoinette look. So we need to we need to figure this out because the girl is throwing shade and she was giving no ma'am.
Yeah, see,
No,
I
ma'am.
was the fully no, ma'am. The way she was coming after Hormona when she told her fix your mug, I was like, girl, have you seen yourself in the mirror?
She said that?
Literally.
It's rank. It is arguably one of the worst mugs I have ever seen on Drag Race, and I don't even mean to be this rude about it, but I still needs to be honest. And
Girl,
I know
tell us how you really feel.
she's getting a lot of hate right now, but I will say she is making great TV. She might not be beautiful. She might not have good hair or good outfits, but she went in there and is making good TV, and that's what makes someone good at Drag Race. That's the difference between
Yes.
her and Hormona. She is
fully.
good at Drag Race. She's playing to her advantage. She's working in her own favor.
Yes.
No,
I
Joella's
live
making.
for a delusional queen. Live for a delusional
Well,
queen.
I live for a delusional queen that has something to back it up. So far, we have not seen Joella back any of it up. Like the hair is not there, the makeup's not there, the outfits are not there. Exactly. Like the wig was falling off. Girl, it was falling off. The outfits are not there, like the performance is not there. So I don't know. I'm conflicted. She makes great TV. I absolutely live for her as a TV personality star. Her drag though, not for me at all.
No, not for most people.
True.
Not for anyone. But Katy Perry.
So the next day, right, except for Katy Perry, but not even for Katy Perry. And so the next day, we see that Anya, right, she has a confessional, and she says that she has to play 2 games. So one is the game, obviously, to showcase her drag to the judges, but the other one is to ensure that she plays politics with the drag queens. But in my opinion, that has always been the game. So what do you think is different this season than it was in the other seasons?
I think they're finally not being like kumbaya, my lord. Like they're reading each other. Because the past few seasons, it has felt like they're all being very friendly, very RuPaul's best friends race. This is giving more like older seasons of Drag Race, like logo Drag Race.
I agree. I think definitely, following in the footsteps of season 16, we saw a little bit more drama. We also had some on 15 too, with like Luxembourg, London, and Mistress. Like we're starting to see that the queens don't want to be so buddy, let me kiss your ass anymore. They're realizing now that like, yeah, no matter what, there's going to be backlash from the fans. So we might as well, lean into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what we're seeing right now. Like you said, it's always been part of the game, the politics and everything. I feel like these girls so far, I feel like all bets are off. We don't know what's gonna go down. They're feisty.
Very. I live for it.
Yes. And I think they all came in with this concept of we're going to make really great television.
Very that.
I think that's the difference between 16 and 17. It's like 16, them bitches was shady, right? Like they were just shady. But they really forgot about like giving good TV, except for Mirage when she had like her breakdown, like, and she cried. That was great television. But this season, it's really, they know their moments. Like catchphrases, like iconic confessional lines, like they are doing it.
They want that Emmy.
They do want that Emmy. Well, they need an Emmy because it's been 2 years since they haven't had an Emmy. They need it.
I thought it was only 1 year.
I don't think so. I don't think 15 got an Emmy.
15 did because Robin Fierce tweeted about it.
Correct. She said that she was an Emmy winner for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. And now she's doing brunch at Balcon Salon. You can go see her at Balcon in Hell's Kitchen where she's doing brunch.
Yes, we love Robin Fierce.
When she was the Drag Wars, one of the most beautiful mugs I've ever seen in person.
Yes, Robin Fierce is like she's a professional. Like,
well, except for that one wig she wore on Drag Race, I think it was her entrance look.
well, when the lace was coming apart, yes.
The shiny lace,
Besides
yes.
that,
But
yeah.
beautiful, kind, professionalism, like, she just radiates that. That's all I can say. She's like, this is my job.
Right. I mean, you could chalk up the like the funny lace to the fact that she was in Connecticut at the time. So that's Connecticut drag. She's much better now that she's in New York City. Just saying. That was Connecticut drag. No shade to the Connecticut girlies, but Amethyst, the same. Just try.
Not Amethyst catching a stray.
I know Amethyst I love Amethyst. I love her, but she did go home first. So the next day, we see that RuPaul comes into the workroom and tells the queens that the main challenge is going to be inspired by the iconic board game Monopoly, in which each of the teams or each of the girls need to pick, like, they need to create a look that's inspired by essentially one of the board game like property pieces, which to me, I was like, okay, but at the same time, I was a little confused because they're avenues like Park Place and Boardwalk, and
have you never?
And I was like, what? So
have you never played Monopoly, girl?
Yes.
Okay,
but like, how do you make outfits based on like
based on the streets
Avenue and Pennsylvania Railroad? Like, how do you make outfits based on that? Because that's how my brain went directly to like New York Avenue. How do you make a dress for New York Avenue?
No, I wanted them dressed as pieces. I wanted someone to walk down that runway dressed as a thimble. Yeah.
Oh my god! Somebody should have done that. Oh my god!
We should have. Yeah.
We doing?
Somebody should have been the Mr. Monopoly man, whatever his name is. Yes.
Right. But we see that, well, before I even get to that question, we're getting design challenges early on into the season so far. Like, we've seen it in 15, we've seen it in 16, and now we're definitely seeing it in 17, that the design challenges are coming up really early. How do y'all feel about that? Because normally they come in the mid kind of range. In the earlier seasons, they were like in the middle. But now we're getting design challenge like boom, right there. As soon as the seasons are like beginning.
You want me to start?
You can start.
Period. I honestly love that we're getting them so soon. I think a lot of people have this mentality of you can't go into Drag Race if you can't sew, Being able to sew does not mean you have taste. And I think that's something we see in the outcome of this episode is, people can make looks and that's cute, but people can also miss the mark and their look cannot be cute. So let's knock them out while we can. By knocking out the people who don't have taste, we're going to be getting better looks later on in the season. Guaranteed.
This is true.
I share some of their sentiment where I'm like, yes, get the girls out early, the ones who are going to struggle with this, because I don't want to see some shitty looks down the line. Like, get them all out early. So if they're going to struggle, let them struggle early and get sent home.
Yeah, I think
and also, you like it at the end better?
Yes.
I was going to say, I also just like the fact that we get so many more looks. Because there's so many more queens.
But I'm the opposite. I think the girls, if you cannot sew, I don't think you need to be the most amazing seamstress like a Trinity the Tuck or like a Mandy Moob, shout out from like Drag Race, Down Under. But at the same time, I think you should either make like a little like slip dress. You should know how to make something, just a little something. It doesn't have to be complicated. Obviously, Bob the Drag Queen wasn't the most like the greatest like seamstress, but he knew his garment, like body, he knew how to make something to fit him. And he won the season, right? And so with like wet seal looks, because that was the budget that season 8 had. But at the same time, it was like, at least he knew how to do something. The girls don't know how to do that.
No, I agree. I think you should be able to put two pieces of fabric together that fit your body well, that you can build on top of.
Stitch.
Yeah, that's it. Like, the girls go on there and they don't even know how to thread a fucking machine. I'm like, girl, you knew this was coming. At least take one sewing lesson. At least learn how to cut fabric and put it together. That's it.
Right. Yep. So, category is Monopolins. I think that's a really great name. I like, no shade. Yes. I was like, Monopolins? That is so cunt. I loved it. I kept saying it the whole entire episode. I was like, Monopolins. Like, that is cute. Leave it up to RuPaul to make a name like
everything.
Yes, like,
but that's literally what I was just thinking.
Like, that's great.
On Broadway.
Right. So the queens, right, they get to pick cards from the it's
She'll
not
be
that
back.
out. Yes. So we get to pick.
What just happened?
It stopped when I guess you stopped recording when you had a telephone call.
Yeah, these bitches can't. They've blown up my phone.
Right. So, what I was saying is we see that the queens have to go into the community chest to pick out their property cards. And so the first one to pick is Joella, and she picked Pacific Avenue, and she wins $300. I think it's really cute that the girls get to get money from Monopoly, from the Monopoly game, and they actually win money with the card that they pick. I think that's great. I think that's amazing.
Honestly, it was kind of giving McDonald's
agree.
Monopoly game.
Yes, with your large sweet tea. Come on.
Yes, your large. I would be so excited when I used to win the large fries. Oh my god, that's the only thing I always
loved it.
wanted.
So good, so good. So Joella goes first, and no shade, but she needed that $300 because these looks, no ma'am.
Well, maybe she could take some sewing classes.
Maybe, right? And then obviously the other queens get to go and they get to choose their cards. But what I thought was really funny is that Lana gets Boardwalk for $400. Which literally is the most expensive property so far. But it is the most expensive property on the board game itself. And then we get
it is. It's the one right before Go.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then right after that is Park Place. Park Place is always like the two blues are the most expensive ones.
Yes.
And then we get to see that Crystal Envy goes, and she picks up the ability to steal another queen's property and money. So obviously, she's going to go and choose Lana with Boardwalk with $400.
Yes.
Was that really smart for her to do, though?
Smart
for her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about smart, but like, I would have done the same thing, girl. Give him that money.
Well, also, I mean, we'll get into the looks, but it worked out in her favor.
It did.
Crystal did look good.
It did. It was very smart. But I mean, Crystal can sew. So I think any color that she would have gotten, I think she would have been fine with it. She's a pageant queen. She would have made something work, right? Her drag family, her drag mom is not going to have her looking all type of stupid. So I don't think she would have looked busted, regardless of what color. But her choice did work for them.
You hated that look.
I hated the fact that, it's so funny. Like, I hated the fact that her ass was so hairy that I didn't mind the look anymore.
I didn't mind the hairy ass.
I didn't either. I appreciated that she actually had her ass out compared to the other girls who had just had, their padding out. I don't know.
No pun intended. It was
Barbie
cute. It was cheeky.
But, would her ass would have been amazing? Yes. Would her ass would have been great if it was smooth? I'm okay. Or a little less hairy than what it was. Yes.
Here's the issue. I think the issue is that the look was bad.
Yeah, she came out looking like a wildebeest on her butt. It's not okay. It was not okay. But then Ariete, she gets the card, which I think is the most funniest. And to go, Yuho. I think that is amazing that her card was Advance to Go, Yuho. And she collects $200, which, again, very on brand for Ariete. Hello, which was really great. But being that Lana's original property was stolen, she gets to go again. And she gets the opportunity to pick another card. This time, she picks, Is the Railroad Still Running? Which gives her the ability to steal $200 from another queen. And so, obviously, she chooses Crystal Envy. And so, Lana ends up with the queen with the most amount of money, which I think is $440. Because she stole $200 from Crystal. So in the end, Lana, shout out to you, because you still got the coin.
That is the universe making its way back around.
Girl, no, that was the producers strategically placing the cards.
No.
So that whoever got their property stolen would steal that money back.
Hey,
girl, they counted the cards and were like, this is how it's going to end up.
Production didn't have a thing to do with that. They're not rigging anything.
It was the Lord.
Listen, in the words of the great gay icon, Jojo Siwa, karma's a bitch, and she's with you right now.
Wow.
Just saying. Shout out to Izzy Untucked, because that's my favorite drag mix that she does. I said uncut. I said Izzy Untucked.
You said Untucked.
Untucked.
Oh my God, did I say Izzy Untucked?
Yeah.
You're only getting half the story.
I'm only getting half the story. Crazy. I am drinking. I have my I am drinking right now, so that would make sense. That's very on brand for me today. Today's been that day. I needed a drink. So, as you know, right, that the properties are color coded because it's Monopoly. Monopoly games, the properties are color coded. And so it was to me, I was like, that makes more sense. I don't know why they didn't like pretty much put that as the prompt for the challenge, that they're like it would be like colors from the Monopoly game and not so much the properties, because I didn't think the looks looked like the properties. They didn't fit. Like when Rue was saying Tennessee Avenue
Absolutely
and
not.
stuff, it just didn't make any sense to me. But the colors made sense. So we have Arietti, Susie Toot, and Lana. They have the color red. We see that Acacia Forgot, Corey King, and Lydia Butthole Collins, they have the color yellow. Crystal Envy and Sam Star have the color blue. Joella, Anya Nerves, and Jules Sparkles have green. And then Harmona Lisa, Lucky Stars, and Lexi Love have orange. So now, which color or which team would you have wanted to be on?
I would have gone for blue. Blue or red?
I would want red. Down.
Yeah, not green. I fucking hate green. I don't like orange. I don't like yellow. So blue or red. What I really would have wanted would be like they left some spaces out, like the three beginning like sections. I would have wanted that magenta pinkish color that is in like the beginning section right before the orange. That's what I would have wanted, but they didn't use that.
But I also think those properties are like $100.
Yeah, I mean the cheapest one is like 80, I think.
Yeah, so
I used to play a lot of Monopoly.
Yeah, I don't think they would give the girls just $80. Like, oh, you win $80. Like, no.
I mean, that
So
would have been a
they
gag.
tried.
It would have been a
They
gag
tried.
to give somebody $80 and another one $400. That would have been a gag.
Honestly, because you know they would have thought about it too.
True,
Exactly.
true.
Like they definitely would have. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised the fight didn't start between Lana and Crystal over the
I
whole
know.
debacle, or maybe it did. And just cut her out. Ooh,
You know,
not the
honestly,
advertising.
look at the advertising. Yeah, I love
It's
that.
everywhere.
Rue is everywhere. She's mother for a reason. I would have want green because obviously green is my favorite color. Love green. But what team I would have been on, I would have wanted to been on the Sam Star and Crystal Envy team because I find myself to be like a pageant queen. Like that's my brand. Love that because of the details. Details matter to me. And so pageantry, details down. So that's why I would have wanted to.
Is it too late to change my answer?
No.
I think I would have wanted green. Green is also my favorite color. But also, if the whole challenge is they need to look opulent, green is money. Like, why are we not, or blue is royalty. I feel like they had an advantage off the bat, a more opulent, more rich, more regal color versus someone coming out in yellow or the girls coming out in red.
Right.
I think red can be opulent though, if it's done properly.
Yes,
true.
Which it was.
We'll get to that. So, Crystal Envy and Sam Star, we see that they have a moment because obviously those are the two pageant queens and they come from drag families who have drag mothers who know how to sew. Obviously, Sam Star's drag mom is Trinity the Tuck. And Trinity, literally, is probably one of the best seamstresses that we have on Drag Race. Like, Trinity can sew a garment like nobody's business. And maybe she could probably do 2 and 3 in the amount of time that it takes a queen to do 1. And we've seen that in like the numerous seasons that she's been on. And so I think that was really great. But what I loved about this episode in particular was that they gave Sam credit for being able to sew.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't Trinity's, like, oh, the reason why you know how to sew is because you're Trinity's drag daughter. Like, no. Sam is like, I know how to sew because my grandma told me how to sew. And I thought that was great. Because we're not getting that
character moment.
Yeah. Which I think is great because we really haven't seen like any of the queen's personalities too much. Like obviously episode 2, we got to see a little bit of Lexi Love, right? And so we get to see that. Episode 1, it was Jules Sparkles. This episode, it kind of was Sam, but then it wasn't. Then it kind of was a little bit of Anya, but it wasn't. And so we really haven't got to see like personality-wise enough for us to know who these queens are outside of like their drag personas. So, which is also different. And then those are the girls that can sew. On the opposite side, we have the girls that cannot sew. And so we learn that the Slasian diva of Los Angeles, Joella, she cannot sew. She does not know how to.
It's so shocking to me.
She can't sew. The girl can't sew. She forgot the Ella and the needle. She can't
She
sew.
can't shop either because her outfits are bad anyway.
Don't do that, because she had a whole moment in Untuck when she was like the local girl. She is known for bringing these iconic looks.
Girl.
And her look.
Girl.
For her
When she was
monoculus.
like, when she said she was like a local, what'd she say? I think she said like a local legend or something.
Yeah,
And
she
all
is
the
an
girls'
icon.
faces, local icon, and all the girls' faces, I was dying. All the girls were like, is this bitch being serious right now?
Very much that. Very much that. Yes.
And
Very
then,
much.
what's her name? Jules being like, well, if that's the best LA has to offer, then I'm not coming back.
Right.
Like, cause girl, she is delusional. Like, I think that is the most delusional drag queen we've ever had on Drag Race, and that is saying a lot. Cause we've had a lot of delusional queens on there.
Yeah. In a long time. It was very refreshing. Yes. But then we get to see that Jules, she wants to win, or she expects to win every single sewing challenge. And she's using a fabric, so obviously the green fabric, and she's doing a ruching technique. And so when she was doing it, I was like, one that's really specific. And that's also very hard to execute, because ruching can either be amazing or it can come out looking real busted. Because the sewing machine sometimes wants to act like a bad child, and it may not cooperate with you when you want it to.
Yeah, and it also depends on the fabric she was using, because some fabric can be really hard to work with.
Yes. But did anybody notice when Rue was doing the walkthrough that she kept calling Lydia Butthole and not
Yes.
her actual name?
I mean, what else would you be calling her? Like, if that's your name, like, I feel like that's what you should be called.
Yeah, but
Just
she
a
just kept
cute
calling her
little.
Butthole.
I think it's cute. I think that shows that Rue likes her.
Sure.
Rue always
Sure.
singles out a
Rue
queen,
likes
and I
her
think,
butthole.
Rue does. Rue does. I also think
I mean,
Rue
so
wants
does
any
Corey,
opportunity.
apparently.
Oh my gosh. And it's so evident that Corey, like, it's like
Likes
every
the
chance
butthole.
Corey gets, Corey is like on top of Lydia. And I'm just like, girl, let the little boy go. Like, let the little boy go. Like,
And
Not
that's
the little boy.
Corey Kane is this big old man, and you got Lydia, this little twink. And I'm like, let him go. But we also get to see that the hodgepodge queen, or like the one that throws everything on their look except the kitchen sink, or maybe even sometimes the kitchen sink on their look, Lucky Stars. She doesn't even know how to sew.
I was shocked. I was shocked because she is a crafty queen. She's a very club kid, and those people like. I mean, she knows how to put a look together, but like she said, it's not usually sewing. It's like paper, cardboard, like unconventional material. She's not used to working with fabric. But I was still kind of shocked that she was like, I don't know how to sew.
Right. I was not expecting Lucky Stars not knowing how to sew. I didn't
Me
think
neither.
that was the on brand for her to not know how to sew. So that was very interesting to me. But Rue
It
goes
was a
through the
gap.
workroom. It really was. Like, I think everybody was like, what?
Well, especially because she very much gave off the energy of someone who makes everything they wear. I was like, you didn't make any of this? Okay.
I mean, I think like she said, she just used to working more with like unconventional materials like paper, cardboard,
Right.
that kind of stuff. So she probably just takes like pre-made bodysuits and like glue shit on there.
Right.
Probably along those lines.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah, I
was still
still would.
shocked.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
same.
was shocked. I was like, she don't know how to sew. I was like, wow. So this is not her thing. But because she doesn't know how to sew, she has the brilliant idea to do something way outside the box. Something so different that she's never ever done before. And the girl doesn't know how to sew. Listen, I don't get
Choices.
it. Choices.
Choices. I
Choices.
uh, I appreciate that she was trying to get ahead of the, you know, what was coming with Michelle and like the what's her usual comment? Like we need versatility, blah 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 blah. We want to see different makeup. Like she knew that was coming, so she tried to get ahead of it, and I appreciate that. But this was not the challenge to do it, girl. This was a challenge for you to go super simple, super safe. Know what
Yes.
like do what you know and what you're good at. Don't go
Yes.
home on this episode. Not the first clue,
No.
girl.
No. We
Especially if
still
it's
need the
something you
pork chop
don't know how to
queen.
do.
Right.
No.
We still needed the pork
Who
chop queen. So,
There was another
like,
queen on there who was like, I'm just doing something super basic, super simple because I just want to be. Was it Corey? I think it was Corey. I was like, I just want to be
probably.
safe, and I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
probably.
that's the way to go. If you know you're not gonna win, just get by, but don't
Exactly.
win in this game.
That's the name of the game. Like, that's what you want to do. Especially if you know that you
Challenge.
right. Especially if you know that you can't sew. Like, don't and then she didn't even do her signature Lucky Stars makeup. She was doing like regular makeup. How was that? Girl.
That makeup was crunchy.
Girl.
Girl, I felt so bad. I felt so bad.
Like the choices
I
Lucky
no,
Stars made on this episode.
it was.
Girl.
I mean, it was bad choice after bad choice after bad choice. But I really enjoyed Lucky Stars, and I just felt so bad for her the whole episode, especially when you see her making her outfit, and you just see her crying because she knows she's not good at it. Like that kind of broke my heart. Like I wanted to cry when I saw that.
Girl, those were
Like those
tears.
were real tears.
No, I felt for her, but also, like I think someone just blew up. Like we've been saying, choices. The fact that she couldn't sew, okay, gag. But the unconventional materials, the creativity, for her to do that mug and her natural mug look like that,
Yeah.
just whatever she produced on the runway, just looked 10 times worse because of that makeup.
Exactly.
The hair and the makeup,
Yes.
the
Yes.
hair, the makeup, the outfit, the composition of all of it. That was not the same Lucky Stars that walked in that room. That is not the same Lucky Stars that was in that talent show.
No. Not at all.
No,
The drastic decline in aesthetic
Yes.
was baffling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
giving someone's first time in drag.
Ooh. Not Butch Queen first time in drag.
It really was though.
Category
But I
closed.
mean, you could tell the whole episode that she was just very uncomfortable with this whole challenge, and it really,
Yeah.
it really got to her. Like she let it get to her, and she struggled.
Yes. But in true RuPaul fashion, Ru has to give a little bit of something because, you know, she's still producing a TV show at the end of the day. And so she leaves her dossier in the workroom. And so the queens get to see exactly how they ranked and who ranked who in what position. Now, I thought that was good.
A little stir the pot. That's what we needed on season 16.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we're gonna do the Rita Queen, we need to know who put who where. That instantly one is gonna make people realize everyone's relationship, who knows who, what's going on in the room, but also the exact opposite. Someone you thought was your friend could rank you low. Crazy.
Right.
Absolutely crazy. And the fact that we didn't get that on 16 and see Plain rank everyone that did great low, missed opportunity. They rectified it and they did exactly what they needed to do.
Yes, they did. They did. You know what I found to be really funny was that Susie Toot, obviously she was the top, and she was the top 2 in week 1, but everyone voted for her to be really high except for Lana. So Lana was the only one that was not living for Susie Toot and them tap dancing. Like,
It's because she
not at
wasn't
all.
wearing a pleaser. That's why.
But all the other girls ranked
With goldfish.
either 1 or 2.
There was no goldfish in the tap suit.
Lana said, bitch, you're going to be 4th. Lana said, you're going to be 4th. Okay? That's what Lana said. Lana said, I'm not living. I'm not gagging. You're 4th. And then we get to see that Lana and Arietti had like this little secret alliance, right? So Lana rates Arietti first. Arietti rates Lana first. And so the queens are like, you two went in cahoots.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Right. Very much that.
Yeah.
But now, is that a smart way to play this? Or should you have played fair based on just actual talent?
It's tricky because then they throw a dossier in there.
Yeah, you could tell they were not expecting for it to be revealed like that because they didn't do it the previous season. So they're like, okay, we're safe. We can do whatever we want. So it was a gag that they told them exactly who they voted for. I think that's why they did it. They did not realize it was going to come out, at least while they were competing. Or at least
that's why the producers knew what they were doing.
Yeah, fully. Like, it makes great TV.
Exactly. I agree. So do you think that if they would have judged this fairly, would it have changed the outcome of the talents? Would the top 2s of the week would have still been the top 2s?
In the same top 2. I think the talent shows were rightfully judged.
Okay.
I think Arietti and Lana were kind of the only ones who kind of differed a little bit, and it wasn't even a big enough difference that obviously changed the outcome, or would have had a different outcome otherwise. So I think it would have been the same either way.
Specifically week 1, like, Miss Toot gave the talent show. It was such a gag. And like, yeah, a lot of these girls come in with like musical theater degrees, whatever. I'm sure a lot of them can tap, but her personality and everything just like radiated through. She would have been the top either way. Same thing with week 2. Like Lexi ate. Lexi Love did exactly what needed to be done. She mothered all of them. She
She
took them
did.
to the roller derby rink. Nothing would have changed. I think,
Yes.
you know, the girls like to be a little messy and be like, oh, I'm gonna rank against their my competition, but in reality, it's gonna iron itself out. It's all gonna
Yeah.
buff out, and the people who deserve to be there are gonna be where they need to be.
Yeah. And then we see that Joella, the girls ranked her either 5th, 6th, or 7th. So I guess she really forgot the Ella.
Well, she forgot the talent is
Yeah. And the fact that she was gagged, though, I thought that was hilarious. Like, girl, the delusion. The delusion.
Yes. And then we see that Sam Star was ranked 4th, but the only one that wasn't gagging for Sam's country was Butthole. Butthole said, bitch, you gonna be 7th. Like, I'm not gagging. That is what Lydia said. Lydia said, country what? Not this country. Yeehaw your ass over there. But right now, you're going to be 7th. You're going to be last place right now, girl. So we see that. And then we saw Jules said no ma'am to Anya and her Amazon Stone, like, bedazzled corset because Jules was not feeling Anya's performance.
I mean, neither was I.
You know, left foot in, out, right foot in,
I think it had a lot of potential, but it went nowhere.
Right.
It just went. I thought it started strong, but it went nowhere.
And then we get to see.
Is she trying to say something? We can't hear her.
No,
we
I
can't
think she's
hear
on
you.
the phone.
Oh, is she? I don't know.
Yeah, she was on the phone. Yes.
Okay.
And then we get to see that the girls are really in shock because of Corey King. Well, Corey King, like they was like, oh my god, that was a shocker because Corey King technically she was rated 6th place. Are you surprised about Corey being 6?
No, I think it was her rightful spot, honestly. At least compared to
Correct.
the other girls, I think it was her rightful spot.
Yeah, because Shake the Ice, I wasn't a fan of Shake the Ice.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
She's back.
It's totally fine. So what we were saying was that Corey King, she was ranked 6th place. Literally, she almost was in the bottom. And that gagged a lot of people. Did it gag you?
yeah, I don't agree with that. I actually think that she should have been a bit higher.
How
In
much
my
higher?
personal rank, I would have put her like 3rd or 4th.
Oh, girl, no.
Really?
No.
It what was it like the most talent? No, but I think it showcased her personality, and her little spin into that dip was clean.
It was.
think
Except
But
for the
I
ice cream.
I
I think it
hated those.
showcased talent and her personality, and I think it was perfectly safe.
I think she got lucky that Hormona did worse.
Yes, I think so too.
But I will say, Hormona and Acacia did. Wait, no, they were different premieres. Who else was low that week?
Well, we really didn't get to see. We didn't get to know. We
Well,
don't
No,
know.
who was yeah?
Hormona was
6th was
significantly
5th.
worse.
Yes.
I think 5th was Anya, wasn't she?
No, but we don't know who it was. 6 was yes.
Well, the way they flipped through the pages was the order that they were in.
Yeah.
So I think it was Anya who was technically like 5th.
Anya was 5th. Corey King was 6th. Hormona Lisa was 7th. That was week 2. In terms of week 1, we had Joella was either 5th or 6th, and then we had obviously Acacia was 7th.
Last.
So that's 5. Yeah. So we see that Lucky Stars, obviously we talked about this, she had a mental like breakdown. But what I loved about this moment was that Lexi and Hormona Lisa, they all try to help like Lucky. And even Arietti tried to help Lucky try to figure out MacGyver something. You could just tell that it just was not working and it was just a mental block for Lucky. Like it just was done. Like it was a done deal.
Yeah, I felt so bad. Like watching her like because she spoke about the reason she was on Drag Race and why it was so important for her to win or at least get on it.
Yes.
So kind of seeing that slowly be taken away from her and her kind of realizing like, I'm not going to make it past this episode, I thought was so heartbreaking. But at the same time, part of me was like, bitch, get your shit together. Like if this is really that important to you, get it
Suck it
together
up.
and pull something out. Like, girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And then we see that Anya, right? So Anya obviously is in a group with Joella and Jules Sparkles, but it's every bitch for themselves. Yeah, they still may be in the group, but they all are kind of using the same green fabric. So Anya asks Jules for some advice. air quotes, on how to make her garment more opulent. And so Jules gives her some advice. Tells her, put this on this, put this on this, put this. So Anya asks Jules if she's using that trim. Like, it's this gold green trim.
That's literally in her hand.
That's literally in her hands. And Jules says, yes, I'm using it. So, just foreshadowing this, okay? Then the next morning, the morning of the actual runway, we see that Mona Lisa is removing rhinestones from her gown because she was called out by Lexi Love about using her own stones. So do you think that it was okay for Lexi to snitch?
Girl, it's a competition.
It is a competition. I'm sorry. That part.
Yeah. Yeah, like if somebody's not doing what they're supposed to, like, yeah, I'm be like, teacher, she's looking at my answers or whatever the fuck. No, yeah, I'm gonna fully do it. I'm gonna be like, girl, no, like we have to play fair. We have to play fair. That's what it comes down to. Like, if you're gonna break the rules, then I should be able to break the rules. I'm not gonna do it, so therefore I'm gonna call you out about it because it's not fair to me or to the other queens who are in the competition with you. And allegedly, it wasn't only
it was also Susie.
Hormona. It was Susie, but Hormona's the only one who like got pissed about it. Susie just took it off and went on.
I personally feel like, obviously, like we already discussed, not every person in that room can sew. You're all working at different skill levels. So for you to, take your little dress at home and try to zhuzh it up for yourself with your own materials, meanwhile we're out here struggling, trying to use what we were given, yeah, I would have called her out too.
Yeah, no, but they are allowed to take it home and work on it. Like to the hotel room.
When you're
but it has to like still, it has to still be within like the rules that they were given, which obviously they didn't do. But yeah, no, I think she deserved to be called out. Again, just made for great TV.
It did. Honestly, I was like, I didn't really like that Lexi like snitch because I would have looked over to the garment and said, there's no competition. So if she want to use the fucking stones, let the bitch use the stones.
Ooh.
Competition.
See, but I'd rather like, because we've seen in the other franchises, other seasons, like the girls will call out other girls for cheating when they feel like it's convenient for them. Like they're about to get eliminated, and they'll be like, "Oh, this girl did that. This girl did that." Or they'll get into a fight. They'll be like, "Oh, she's been using the phone this whole time." So I prefer this, where she was like upfront with it, like from the start, and like she like addressed it right then and there, rather than waiting like 5 episodes down and be like, "Oh, by the way, Hormona did this like a few episodes ago." Just to let you know, so like they could reprimand her or whatever.
Very that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was just a few rhinestones, so it wasn't gonna make or break the look.
No, it was not a few. It was the whole dress.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I just like
she said, it was like picking ticks off a cow.
Yeah, that was so country of Hormona to say that. It was so country. It's the most countryest thing ever. Very Republican. I'm not saying that Hormona's a Republican, but I'm just saying that's very Republican of her. But okay, so remember I said that there was like some, helping between Anya and Jules. So let's get back to this Anya and Jules situation. So apparently, Anya uses the trim that Jules said that she was going to use. Mind you, Jules is saying all of this in front to Ariete, in front of Anya, who happens to just be like maybe a chair away doing their makeup. Anya hears it, and Anya goes off. What did y'all think?
I think it was very shady of Jules to not say anything to her and to just like say it while she's literally like 5 feet away, like within earshot. Like if you were whispering, they'd be able to hear you. I thought that was kind of shady, but again, great TV. Like Anya going off, I was living. I was like, yes, girls, go off. I was kind of on Jules' side route, where like she said, yes, I'm going to use this. Like finders keepers, like I'm gonna use this. Anya using it, like I thought that was kind of uncalled for. I don't necessarily think she did it to sabotage her, but I don't think she should have done it. Like she knew she was going to use it. She should have just left it on the table.
Okay.
She should have found something else.
Yeah. I was running.
Girl, you okay?
She was just outside.
I was outside in
Girl,
frigid cold.
Lay off the sugar booger.
That has never touched my nose ever. Anywho.
Good.
I think it was shady, like you said, because they could have did it in ASL and Anya would have heard them. Like, they were literally right there next to
Not
each other. They were
ASL.
touching shoulders. At that point, bring it up to her. Say it to her. She's right there. If you're gonna
Yes.
say it so she hears you, it's giving immature, it's giving petty. Say it to her face. Say it with your chest and the sparkles.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on the side of Jules. I have to be on the side of Jules, and the reason why is because yes, Jules said that she was using that trim, and it is kind of like finders keepers, losers weepers. Like regardless if they're using the same fabric or not, if it was on the table and Jules grabbed it first, Jules has it. Now,
Yeah.
what I thought should have been different was I wouldn't even let Anya use the trim. I would have been like, "Hi, what are you doing, sis? You're not putting it on there because I literally just told you I was going to use it." So it wouldn't even got to the situation in which Anya would have stolen the trim from me because I would have been like, "Hi, I'm going to rip this shit off of your garment. Like you're
That
not
would have
even
been a
using
gag.
this."
That would have been a
Like,
gag. Yeah,
no,
but she should have said something from the start, not let it
right,
happen, and then be shady about it the next day.
right. But then I like the shady moment between all of them. Yes, because Jewel gives us the iconic line, "Have your moment," because you're not going to have too many more, bitch. Put it on a fucking t-shirt, Jules Sparkles. Put it on a fucking t-shirt.
No,
That
she
was
had that.
iconic. Yeah.
That was the moment.
Like
Yes.
that's
I
looking
need that on the
straight
shirt. I need that on
into
a
the
hat.
mirror. Straight into the mirror. Have your moment,
As
bitch,
she's
because you're
doing
not
her
gonna have too
makeup.
many more. Like, what? That is so good. Jules, if you are watching this podcast, which you're probably not, but if you are, put it on a fucking t-shirt. Put it on a fucking t-shirt. Yes, on a tote bag. Put it.
I want that on a hat.
Jhoany
No,
wants it on
just
hats. I want it on a
just release a whole
t-shirt.
bunch of
Ambrose said
shit.
a tote bag. Just merchandise the whole entire thing. We need merch that says that line. Okay? All right. So, shall we get into everyone's favorite topic to talk about, the runway?
Yes, I got him
I'm
excited.
excited to get into these runways. All right, so here's how the rankings are going to go. We have 4 categories. We have yes, ma'am. Obviously, if we say yes, ma'am, it's a good look, right? The look fit the prompt, it fit the theme. We have no, ma'am, which if it's given no, ma'am, it's given no, ma'am, which essentially is it's a bad look and you need to take it in the garbage. Basura, right? And then we have meh, ma'am, which is neither good or bad. It's like it's kind of
It's
safe. It's not really giving anything. And then
it's
we
like
have
you just
Ova.
did. Yes, that's my favorite.
Then we have
Ova.
Ova. Shout out to Anna Loking. Ova. We
What
have
if like
Ova.
low?
So
No,
low
ma'am.
would be no, ma'am. Low is no, ma'am. Mid is meh, ma'am. And then high is yes, ma'am. And then very high is Ova. That's what we need to figure out one that's lower than no, ma'am, because some of these looks needed to get lower than no, ma'am.
No fucking man with the
so-
capital fuck.
Oh, no fucking ma'am. You know what?
Yes,
you know I put
man.
that in my notes. Yes, man. You know, I put no fucking ma'am on my notes. Like, that's what it's going to be. So, first one, poor thing. Lucky Stars is.
Yes, man. No, ma'am.
Okay. We spoke about it. Like,
No fucking ma'am.
no
No
fucking ma'am. I'm
fucking
sorry.
ma'am.
It was very poorly constructed. It did not fit her well. The makeup, the hair, everything was just wrong about it. I love Lucky Stars, and I hate to see her like this. But it was a no fucking ma'am. It's the worst look we've seen this season so far.
So far, it was really bad. It was horrible. It was wretched. It was rancid. It was
I think it's
really
right
bad.
up there with like Lala's look. Lala's bag look. I think it's like right up there with it.
Yeah,
I don't know about all
she's
that,
getting the
but maybe.
she's getting the golden boot for
Girl,
sure.
it was bad.
Maybe a mandatory. Maybe
Joella's still there, so I think she has a chance to not get the golden boot.
you know what?
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what? Yeah,
That's true.
that's true. That's true. And how this
That's
rate
why I
is
said so
going
far.
is
That's why I said so far.
Okay.
True.
Yes. Next up, right. Next up, we have Mona Lisa. What did you guys think of the look?
It was a yes, ma'am. I think it was cute.
Ma'am.
I think it would have been better with the jewels because it was kind of a little basic and simple. But I think it was well constructed. It was good. It fit her well.
I gave it a meh, ma'am. And the reason why is not because it was a bad dress, is that I'm tired of the mermaid being horizontal. Like, I want the mermaid to be like maybe like a triangle and come out, right? Like, really do something because it gives it more shape, it gives it more dimension.
Okay.
But the way it was like cut off, like that horizontal, like stripe, it just was giving. It wasn't really giving what I needed it to give, and so it just made it really boxy. And then she couldn't walk in it, which is always a problem.
I did peep that.
She just couldn't walk because the bottom of the
That's
was
fair.
too heavy. The mermaid was too heavy. So I was like, shout out to the princess of the goldfish, which, if you know, you know. She's technically not the princess of the goldfish, but that's someone else. But, no shade. Someone else with the goldfish. But if you know, you know.
We all
Next
know.
up was, right, we all know. Next up was Lexi Love. What did you think of Lexi's look?
I think the actual look itself was a meh, but the way she presented it made her a yes ma'am. Because that, like, I know she said what she was gonna do
Yeah,
beforehand,
very
like
that.
while they were in the workroom, but it was
The
like it was
throwing,
still a gag to actually
of the
see it
roll.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, bitch. I loved it. I loved the presentation made it a yes ma'am. Because the hair, girl, no,
Yeah,
I did not like the hair. She needed to
I've said
put
it
some
better
extensions
myself.
in or something.
right,
It was the presentation that saved it.
right. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Tell me more.
true. Yeah. Honestly, it wasn't giving what it needed to give for me. And I knew that was going to happen because anytime he cuts off bad like that, that means he's going to like lose his service.
I said
Always
respectful.
happens. Yeah, always happens. It happens all the time. Literally, probably about around this time, it happens all the time with him. And this is what we do. That's literally what we do. But by the time I put it all together, it'd be an amazing episode.
Period.
Yes, but Lucky, Lexi Love, I liked the concept of it. I thought the concept was really great. Obviously, I got the reference right away with the fashion. Makes sense. I see it. When she turned to the right and she had the long train with the bolt roll, it looked amazing. But then
When
she
she
turned to the left and I was like, oh, no. And then kind of, yeah, no.
it was the presentation, and I think that just goes to show, like, how I was talking about there's a difference between, being proficient at making a garment versus executing a garment. And was it the best look? No, but she sold it like it was the best look.
This is true. She did. And which is good. But I also didn't like the fact that she didn't have like actual like big old drag hair, that she only wore her natural hair, which it looked good, but I just wanted it to be bigger and like grander. But I guess like I get that she was going directly for the reference, which was to like bolt roll, throw it, short hair, like that piece. Like I get it because she gets her references all from fashion, like fashion shows and whatnot. So it makes sense. Next we had Susie Toot, and she did the devil look. What did you think?
Meh, ma'am. It was fine.
Yeah, I liked Susie's body in it. I thought it was very like I thought it was to me. I thought it was cute to the point where I was unexpected for Susie Toot. Didn't expect her to actually pull out a garment like that. Was it super over the top and so avant-garde and out of the box? No. Did it give me opulence? No. So it was also a meh man for me as well. But I liked her body, but that makeup, I'm still on the fence. I'm still not there. I'm not loving that mug at all.
Not one
It's still not giving me what it needs. Next, we had Arietti. What did you think?
Yes, ma'am.
Very much so.
I'm gonna say over.
Okay.
I think Arietti could have won this challenge.
Okay.
Minus the presentation.
Okay.
I think she looked great. All the detailing, great. The sleeves were a little funk, but I thought she looked absolutely stunning. Her mug, perfect. Everything just was so cohesive and went so well together. My only issue was that you could tell that she was feeling the look, and not in like the "oh, I look beautiful," but in the "yeah, bitch, I made this way." And I think that made the presentation of the outfit not as good as it could have been. There was no ease. It was like, let me show you how amazing my look is versus let me just like be cute and casual, and you recognize how good it is.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Orietti's look. I gave it a yes, ma'am. I thought she is a look queen. She said it. I think she lives up to her name of being a look queen. I liked the headpiece the most out of everything of the look. I think that is what sold it to me. I wanted that to trickle down to the look because I thought it was the look, the actual dress. I thought it was very simple. It wasn't opulent enough, especially for that headpiece, an amazing headpiece that you have. That's opulence. That is the whole challenge. And then I would have preferred it to trickle down into the actual look. But not for nothing, the look was still good.
I like the look. I thought the look was really good. I agree that the hair should have matched the actual outfit a little bit better. Like she could have, because I get the hair. Like it was very cultural. It was very like Mexican. Like it was. she said she was going to do that. And I wish she would have incorporated maybe some of that style into the actual outfit. I gave the look a yes, ma'am. It was really good. I love the color on her. But I do think there was a little bit of mismatch between the hair and the dress.
Correct. Yeah. And then next up, we had Lana Del Rey. What did you guys think?
It was a meh for me. It wasn't bad. The thing I did not like about it was those like jewels, whatever the fuck brooches that she put on it, like on the shoulder. I hated that. I'm sorry, I hated that. I think without that, the look would have been fine. It would have been just safe. Yes, it would have been basic, it would have been simple, but I think it would have been enough to get her by. I just hated those, whatever the fuck those stones were. I hated them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, didn't like
I
it.
agree. It was giving last minute. The little pieces that she added absolutely nothing to the look. They looked like she was just like, oh, I need to throw something on here, and it wasn't in it. And I think luckily she's beautiful, she's stunning. So I think she could have walked out there in a rag, and it would have looked cute. But it just did not meet the level that it should have. And to me, it's meh.
Yeah, it was a meh for me as well. Next was Acacia Forgot. What did we think?
It was a no, man.
Meh. Oh.
At first, when I first saw it, the first time I watched the episode, when I was watching it come down around there, I'm like, okay, it's a meh. It's not bad. But then the more I looked at it, and like when I rewatched the episode, and then I was looking at photos, I'm like, no, girl, this is bad. Like I hated the little nipple thingies. Like it was giving granny. I think had she added like another ruffle to the bottom that hit the floor, I think it would have been fine. I think maybe it would have been a yes man if she again removed like the grandma nipples. But I thought it was a weird length. I think I don't know. It was a no ma'am. The more I looked at it, the more I saw it. It gave me no ma'am. When I first saw it, it was like meh. But no, I didn't like it. I didn't like the hair either.
Yeah, it was a no man for me. She kept saying this was Dynasty, and
Girl,
it was giving Dolly Parton because Dynasty
even-
is Alexis Carrington. Alexis Carrington she would never step foot in an outfit that had doilies.
girl, not even Dolly would wear that. Don't insult her like that.
But it was giving that. It was giving more country than it was giving Dynasty. And that's why I was like, right. I was like, it's not giving no Dynasty at all. Like, what is she doing
it fully
here?
was not giving
But-
Dynasty.
No. Next was Corey King. What did we think?
Meh.
It was a meh. It was safe. It was that. It was safe. It wasn't bad. It was nothing to write home about. It was very cheap, as Ru said.
It was cheap, but
To
I
me-
think they were dragging
Okay.
it. I feel like they made it like she walked down there and the ugliest thing they had ever seen. And it was like,
No, it was-
alright, like,
we've seen way worse.
Significantly worse. We just saw worse.
We did.
We
did,
just saw worse,
yes.
yeah.
I'm not going to drag Corey King because I always drag Corey King on every single episode so far. It's only been 3 episodes and I've dragged Corey King every single fucking episode. So I'm just going to move on to Lydia B. Collins. What did we think?
I hate to say yes, ma'am. But someone mentioned that if you look at the detailing on the chest, it's way overdone. And if you watch her walk
It's
in
too
it,
much.
she can barely move. It's way too much.
It-
So I would love to say yes, man, because I think from a distance it looks beautiful, but she bit off a little more than she could chew, and for that I'm going to give her a meh.
I agree. It's a meh. I think there's parts of it that worked really well, that were very well constructed. You could tell that she's a seamstress, but she did way too much. Way too much. I couldn't tell what parts began where. Like the whole look as itself, like she said, from afar, you're like, oh, she looks cute. You get up close, no, ma'am. So I will give it a meh, because like there was parts of it that I liked, but overall, if you look at it quickly, yes, it's fine. Once you start like to dissect the look, not that cute.
First of all, I'm going to give it a no, ma'am. That dress was ugly as fuck. There was nothing nice about that dress. That dress was ugly as fuck. She couldn't walk in the fucking shit. Like, she had a front train, then she dropped it. You couldn't see her face. She had that ugly ass fucking hat on her face. Like, what the fuck was she doing? She couldn't walk in the shit. It was ugly as fuck. I don't know what everybody else is seeing. I'm so confused.
Gather her.
And I'm like, so confused. Like, it was very much that. And I was so confused. Like, the fuck was wrong with Butthole? Like, did she have a stroke? Like, I was so confused because it just was not giving. I don't know. Like, I didn't, and I watched it back like 4 times and I still don't see it. It was hashtag too much. It was ugly as fuck.
It was way too
bad.
much. It
Watching
was
it
way
back
too
is what
much.
made me feel mad about it. Because in the moment,
Yeah,
I was
'cause-
like, wow, that should have been high. And then I watched it back and I went, actually, no.
Right.
That's how I felt. I'm like, oh, girl, I must have had one too many drinks that night. Because when I first saw it, I was like, yes. And then when I was watching it sober, I'm like, doesn't, girl.
Right.
It's like, you know, when you
I mean-
hook up with somebody when you're drunk and then you wake up the next day, you're like, ooh, girl, what was I thinking? That's kind of what it was giving to me.
That happened too often.
Not anymore, girl. But it's happened before.
No, I can't relate. That never happened to me because I don't know. No, I don't know how that feels because I don't get drunk enough for me to go have sleep with people.
We only pulled 10s here.
Right, like I don't know. So next was Joella. What did we think?
Ova, the Salation diva.
Over.
No.
Joella
Oh my God.
killed it. It was the best thing on the runway on the episode.
Jova.
Over.
Forget Ella. Forget the Ella.
It's a Jova. Oh my
Come on
God.
now. It was Jova.
I love that.
It was rancid. It was terrible.
It was so bad.
It was bad.
So bad.
It was so
So
like,
when I-
okay. It was like the bodysuit cute. Okay, sure. It was not giving opulence. It did not fit correctly, literally anywhere. It was bunching and rolling, and it was just not. Like malfunction. The opulence that she says she gives back home is not what she was giving on that runway, and she still has yet to give that. And I'm patiently waiting. I have no hope for her after that though.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess the opulence she thinks she's giving is like Santee Alley opulence because like that outfit was not it at all. Like when I first saw it, like I was like, okay, it's not horrible, and then she turned around. And was like, ooh, hell no. No fucking ma'am. No thank you. Next. This girl has the balls to like talk so much shit and then come down the runway looking like that. Girl, get it together.
She has yet to back up anything she has said about her skills and abilities.
Not yet.
She'll win the
She has
next
not.
episode.
Right.
Watch her gag everyone and end up in the finale. That would be the ultimate gag of the century.
That would
I don't
be
see that happening. But so next was Anya Nerves. What did we think of Anya's look? Pocket. Yep. Yeah, I also think to me it was a no ma'am. She would have gotten over for me if she didn't steal the jewels from Jules. She would have gotten over. And because it really represents opulence. Like what was the presentation represented monopulence for what the category was. Like granted, design aside, like all the details, yes, it was a mess. But it was grand. It gave me Harlem Renaissance. It gave me old like Hollywood glamour. She was giving and she was presenting opulence. Now, from a detail perspective, did she do a good dress? Absolutely not. No, but from the category, the reason why she was in the top is because from the category, even though it was a design challenge, it was opulent.
That's what I was talking about earlier. I don't think should have been the top. However, the way you just described it, I see that now.
Yeah, that's why. It wasn't because she had the most like well-constructed garment. Absolutely not. Right, because there was other garments on the runway that was designed way better and constructed way better, right? Not a stitch unturned in some of those designs. But did Anya fit to that? No. But in terms of the category, it was green. It looked like money. She presented it like money. And so she looked rich. And I think that's what, maybe because the jewels helped that she stole from Jules. That helped bring the look together. And in a way, you have to thank Jules Sparkles because she was in the top. So, speaking of Jules Sparkles is next. What did we think?
Give it a yes, ma'am.
Yes. The only thing that bothered me about Jules Sparkles' dress was the zipper was not straight down in the middle. It like zigzagged. And that like threw me off. Because girl, if you're going ruche, make it symmetrical. Because that's the whole idea of the ruching dress. It's symmetrical. That's the only thing. So like, and I think that's why she did like the little walk like that, because she probably knew that the zipper was a little crooked too. So she didn't want to like let people see. Because I was like, girl, the zipper's a little crooked.
I wish she could walk with it. I wish she could have been able to walk with it. It was giving doing a little shuffle. But I think overall it was Like we just said, you could tell the amount of work that went into it. You could tell that she knows what she's doing, and she went into the challenge confident. And I think that she delivered on what she said she would deliver, and I think that's that.
This is also true. And so next we had Sam Star. What did we think?
Ma'am.
Okay. Listen, when Sam came around the corner and she did her head tilt and she looked directly into the camera and gave the camera, she like I fucked the camera, it was over. Like it was a wrap for everybody else. Like it was a wrap for the girls. Like at that point, we knew she was winning. Like it was a wrap. Like the bitch I fucked the camera straight. She looked directly in the fucking camera and was like, bitch, I know this is cunt. Like I know this is good. And that's when I said, Samantha, right? I said, Samantha Star, bitch, you better.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. The dress was so well made, right? That it was based on the particular fabrics that they got with the blue. I also think, like, and we'll talk about Crystal Envy in a second, but I thought the blue team brought it. Like the blue team did what needed to be done. Right. The blue team gave. Right. Yeah. And so then obviously we have Crystal Envy. So what did we think of Crystal's look?
So yes, ma'am. I thought Crystal looked beautiful.
Crystal's look was great. I thought she did what she needed to get done. Right. It was good. It was well constructed. I love the little bows on the side of the sleeves. I thought that was great. It was very like Gone with the Wind fabulous. Obviously you had like the little shawl on her head and the headpiece. I thought it was amazing. So it was decent. It was good for me.
This is one of the best design challenges we've had ever.
Yeah, it was a good design challenge because this is the first time we had a design challenge with all 14 queens, right? So you got to think of it like we literally saw all of the looks, and for a design challenge with all 14 queens, not bad. So who had your favorite look?
Ariete.
Yeah, I have to give mine to Sam. I thought Sam did really great. I thought Ariete was my second favorite look, but if I had to choose out of all of them, Samantha did what needed to be done.
Real. I think Ariete's mug is really what takes it there for me.
Yes. Ariete's mug is like, she's great. But I love that she knows how to tone it down for certain looks, but still it's her signature mug. She's not trying to get another mug. She's not trying to do something different. I think it's great. Yep. And I love that she keeps that, right? And because that's her staple, that's her brand. And I think that's the best thing ever. Like that's what you do on Drag Race. You know where your brand is. You can change it and be versatile in different areas, but you should still be able to know who you are and what your brand is. So we see them on the main stage. At the tops are Ariete, Anya Nerves, and Sam Star. And the bottoms are Lucky Star, Corey King, and Joella. Did you agree with the tops and did you agree with the bottoms?
I did. I definitely agree with the tops and bottoms. Down.
Okay.
I feel like we could have maybe swapped out Corey for maybe Acacia, but other than that, I feel like it was very fair.
Right, I agree. And then we see that Sam Star ends up winning the challenge, making her the new front runner, and she's tied with Susie Toot and Lexi Love with one challenge win each. And the bottom two are Joella and Lucky Stars, and they lip sync to Just the Way You Love Me by Paula Abdul. What did you think of the lip sync?
I think that I was expecting Lucky to really give a lot more than she did.
Yeah.
I think the Salesian Diva did what needed to be done. I think she did what needed to be done. I think I saw some people saying that they thought Joella lost, and I think that's just bias because people don't like Joella. Joella was hitting that little high kick. Was it the best performance we've ever seen on Drag Race? No. But it was better than Lucky, and I think the outcome was fair. It was fair and square.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Joella, she won the lip sync. I thought Lucky's lip sync was a little crunchy, a little messy. She had that crunchy reveal. Her shoes kept falling off. Her panty didn't match any other garment on the thing. She had a tiger or leopard print panty. It should have been orange because the look was orange. I mean, it just took me out of it. Was Joella the greatest? No. But was she better than Lucky in this lip sync? Yes. So with all that said, Lucky ends up being the pork chop queen of season 17 because Joella ends up winning this lip sync. And then we see that, but since Lucky is eliminated, she has the opportunity to pull the lever on the badunkadunk tank and save herself by throwing Michelle in the water. So because she has that opportunity, Lucky pulls the lever, unlucky number 3, and unfortunately, She becomes the pork chop queen of season 17 because she does not dunk Michelle in the badunkadunk tank. So, do we agree with Lucky being the pork chop queen of season 17?
Based on the way the challenge
I mean,
went, yes. Based on what we've seen so far presented by every single queen, absolutely fucking not. I mean, I think you know who I think should have been the pork chop.
Yeah.
I think it was a very series of unfortunate events that led to Lucky being the pork chop queen. A very series of unfortunate choices she made that led her there, but I don't think she should have been the pork chop queen. I was really sad to see her though.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, who do we think is winning season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race?
Lexi Love, down.
All right. I think it's Sam.
That's what I
think
said last
it's gonna
time.
be Sam or Lexi. I think Sam has a really
I still
great
think the
story
same.
arc set up
And I
for
think
her,
this
where she's
challenge
trying
kind
to
of
live up to,
reiterated that.
her
The way
drag
she
family
presented
and
it.
everything, and she's able to accomplish everything that you would expect her to accomplish, but on her own accord. It started with this episode, talking about how her grandma taught her to sew. I think that's going to be her storyline. I think that's going to pull her through, and I think she is going to deliver everything and more. And I see Lexi being in that final too. I think Lexi just brings a very motherly, very confident, very seasoned energy, while also not giving mother. It's giving like she's the cool, fun auntie. And I'm looking forward to what those two specifically are going to bring, because I know they're going to bring it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was another episode of No Ma'am. Ambrosia, thanks for joining our recap.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let the girls know when they... Of course. Now is your opportunity to let the girls know where they can find you. What's your socials? How can they get in touch with you?
Of course, you can find me on Instagram at Ambrosia Zwan. It is AMBROJAZWAAN. I'm on Instagram. You can find my Cash App also with the same name, but it is going to be Instagram at Ambrosia Zwan. So hopefully you can give me a follow there and we can have a little chat.
Yay. All right. So, friends, if you love the shade, if you love the laughs, if you love us saying no ma'am, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a single episode of No Ma'am. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And also, make sure you follow us on Instagram at No Ma'am the Podcast. And if you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, or iHeartRadio Podcasts, rate us 5 stars and leave us a review because it means so much to us. And as always, we'll have you saying no ma'am in no time. Bye.